Mr. Gorbachev, open this gate.
An entire class of U.S.-Soviet nuclear missiles is eliminated. Means that the era of nuclear disarmament has begun.
We will stay the course, and we will succeed. And there can be no doubt. Operation Desert Storm is working.
Hello, I hope you had a nice day, and now it will be time for the Black Ops 6 review. Short, this is Game of the Year. I will try my best not to spoil the campaign, but the campaign is really good and excellent, and I love it a lot. And Zombies alone is incredible. I played the multiplayer, it was good, it wasn't the best, but it was really good still. And a really good game, and I tried really hard to not talk about the game for a long time, but this video ended up being a bit long, so sorry for that. But I mean, this is the best game I played so far this year. Now, I did not play multiplayer a lot. I'm not that big of a multiplayer player. I like more kind of the campaign and zombies, and play a bit of multiplayer on the side. So I'm gonna splice a bit of gameplay and multiplayer in the parts, because most of the new things in multiplayer kinda is like basic gameplay, which also goes in the campaign and zombies as well. But at least the big new thing about movement is at least Omni movement, which lets you run around in all directions, and you can dive all directions and slide, and all of this is cool and all, but in multiplayer there are a ton of sweats, which is just constantly sliding and diving, and it looks just so weird. And it's just annoying to play against, and the skill-based matchmaking is a bit weird right now, apparently. And there's just a bit of issue with sweats, and sniping apparently is terrible in multiplayer. At least a bit close. Apparently it was a lot better before Omni movement, so that's one thing. And now one thing that I love a lot is blueprints. Previously in Call of Duty you had a bunch of loadouts that you created, and if you wanted to have one gun and they had made a specific loadout of that weapon, you had to recreate it all the time in loadouts. But now you just create a blueprint of that weapon, and it won't be deleted unless you delete it, which is really cool, and I love this feature. And Zombies uses this as a main thing. This is your loadout in Zombies. You don't have loadouts, which is cool and all. And they have changed prestige, so now you actually, it resets all the level unlocks, so weapons and stuff, you don't have them, but you unlock permanent unlocks. So when you prestige one time, you will get a permanent unlock. Then you can choose a specific level you want to always have unlock every time you prestige. And you unlock special rewards, which you can't get anywhere else when you prestige, like new loading screens, skins, icons, and gobble gums, and blueprints / skins for weapons, which is really cool. And one thing I didn't mention is that the blueprints are the same as skins now. Like it has been previously where you had blueprints that was skins, but now they're kind of the same, and you can base the blueprints on top of skins you purchased and do stuff like that. And currently there is a shop which has one item in it called Endeavor Tracer Pack, which is like a charity for US and UK military veterans, which is really nice of them to do. And there is currently no battle pass, but it released the 14th of November 2024. And with that launches the Black Ops 6 Warzone and all of that. And a new kind of thing is that when you level up, they changed it, because in Modern Warfare 2 you had to play and level up so many weapons just to get one attachment that you want on a completely other weapon, and everybody hated it, and they have changed it a bit. So now when you level up a weapon, the only thing that stays on everything is scopes. You have to level up a weapon to get a scope, and then you can use that scope on every weapon, and every weapon has different type of scopes. So I unlock one scope on an AR, you can't use it on the SMG or so, and like that. You only get to use them for that specific class, which is really cool. And they have one thing they have changed a lot is the amount of attachments. You can now have a base max of 5 attachments in multiplayer, and you can have like a special skill where you can have 8 on every single weapon except for pistols. And zombies uses this as default, so in zombies you can have 8 attachments on everything except pistols. As I said, I didn't play multiplayer a lot, but I'll be quick and just talk about the things that I did notice that is different and stuff. But firstly, the game is multiplayer, at least, is a lot like the earlier games, but the new part is like the Omni movement, and that you don't have to use every single gun to unlock new guns and attachments to other guns, which didn't make sense, but now it's at least a lot better. And one thing that I don't like at all, and I think others agree, is Mosh Pit. It's a really weird game mode with it's a really tiny map, and you spawn sometimes with the enemy, you spawn close to the enemy can spawn kill you, and it's like really weird. But this also goes for the most of the game modes and maps, which is not that good. And there are many new maps, some better than others, obviously, and there are some maps that are actually pretty huge, not compared to Modern Warfare 2, but like they are huge. And there's like very small maps too, and many of the maps are based on campaign maps or the missions in campaigns, which are really cool. And there's also a bunch of new and returning game modes, and some of them are really fun to play. And when I play multiplayer, I almost always take the new or really old game modes because they are the best.
Up and down again. There's no discharge in the war.
Scheiße, I cannot take this anymore. Finally, a good song. Who the hell are you? This is Maya. She's with me. Breaking you out was my plan, so you're welcome.
That you sick son of a bitch! You're supposed to be dead.
Relax, Major Carver. All of us here have a common enemy. The guy who locked you up. The guy who stole my life's work. Edward Richtofen. What do you say we find him and kill him? Huh?
Dimensional breach in progress.
Let's get out of here.
That wasn't a fucking deal. We're not going anywhere till we find my brother.
Look, it'll take me some time to get their helo to split up, and we do kind of owe it.
Okay, Raptor 1. Go locate the landing pad. Peck, Strauss, hold up in the guard station. I want Richtofen's coordinates. Go to restore power, and then locate this woman's brother.
Now, this is the part where I put most of my hours, where over half of them are in zombies. There are currently 2 maps at launch, where both of them are really good. They kinda focus on 2 different things. One is a little bit dark and one is a little bit lighter, and it's more happy place kinda. And they are really dense with Easter eggs, and they both have a main quest. And a new thing is that, like, there are special rewards you get for completing them, but these rewards will be removed after they have released something called guided mode. And this is something I really am looking forward to, even though I completed the main quest and know how to do it. Guided mode will help people to complete the main quest without having to look up guides and follow, because the game will help you doing it. And I really looking for this, because this will change zombies for everybody, because I personally haven't gone for the main quest because I didn't know this was a thing until like my friends told me about it. So I think guided mode will help a lot of new players to complete the quest, and I will think this will just draw in a ton of new players. And one thing that is returning is like there are like special operators for maps. Currently it's only for one map, the Terminus, and there's like a team like it was like in really old Call of Duty games, with then I mean 4 and before. And this is really cool, and you can also use these operators in multiplayer and stuff, and they also probably will have skins in item shop when it launches fully. And one thing that I love is it's really easy to get Pack-a-Punch, which is really cool. And as I said, I didn't know a lot about Call of Duty, so before I didn't know what Pack-a-Punch was, but now because of Cold War and Black Ops 6, I know it's a thing and you need to do it to get far into rounds. And it's really cool that or nice that they've done it to be so easy. And as I said earlier, there are no loadouts. You have one loadout, only one. And this uses mostly the blueprints feature, and you will use this a ton. And one thing that I love, and I recommend highly that you do it, is that you can set weapons as zombies default. You set the blueprint as zombies default, so when you purchase the gun from the wall or you get it in the mystery box, you will then get that blueprint with all your attachments, which is really cool, and I love it. And there's just so much in zombies now that I just love. And in Black Ops Cold War, you could research and get like special things and like unlock more attachments per weapons. Now they have changed all of that to a new system which is like called augments, where you research like different trees. There's one for every Perka-Cola, one for every ammo mod, and one for every field upgrade. And some of them are like really basic, like, oh, does more damage, or you have more health, or ammo mod can now affect elites, which are kind of basic, but some are like really different, like melee can now hit multiple enemies, and tons of other stuff, and some like doesn't change a lot, just changes how effective like a Perka-Cola is. And when you think about it, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually does change a lot, and actually changing how the Perka-Cola or ammo mod or field upgrade works with augments is really cool. So you can kind of make builds, and melee build is like really good, does work really good now, and I love that too. And one aspect that people kinda, some like it, some hate it, because in Cold War people were complaining it was too easy, and Treyarch heard the players and they changed it. Now when you get like later, it will just spawn a bunch of elites, which not only does a ton of damage to you, but they also have a ton of health. So later you can have like so many tens of elites just coming for you, and on top of that there's like so many zombies, and it's just it's not hard, it's just annoying. And right now Treyarch are doing some really weird choices about the patches. They're removing things that the community love and actually made it possible to go into the like late rounds and all of that stuff, and it's a bit weird, you could say, and all of that. They have changed a bit with salvage from Cold War, and now you have to use currency or points to buy armor, which is a bit different. And now you get, like, instead of using points for ammo mods, now you use salvage for ammo mods, and they are almost the same now, it feels like, but augments can make them a lot better and make them more better for some type of weapons over other types of weapons. And there's a few field upgrades, and they are not the same as previously. Some of them are exactly the same, but others are completely different, and you also have new ones. And there's like a ray which just eliminates all basic zombies and does almost nothing to elites, which is nice. And you have the electricity bomb as in Cold War, and there's like one that teleports you to another place where enemies can't deal damage to you, but you can deal damage to them, which is nice. There's one that heals you and teammates and revives them if they're down, and one that makes every enemy target you, and they're really cool. And with augments you can change them even more to your liking. You can maybe make them better for allies, make them better for yourself, and this is really cool and builds on top of the augments. And I think there's probably one new Perka-Cola, which is like Melee Macchiano or something like that, which is really cool and makes you able to do like melee builds and more like that. And all of the like regular Perka-Colas are back, and some are changed a bit, the one with critical damage is changed, so you do more critical damage, and PhD flopper is apparently changed, so you will take environment damage, but with augments you can change it, but then you can't use it because with augments you can have one like rare augment difference and one like common augment, and one changes a lot, but one just changes a few numbers, but like one doesn't make any difference at all almost, but the other makes a ton of difference. And this is a bit cool in the new game. And there's also like Easter eggs with Pack-a-Punch, where you can get Sam and Sally kinda, with explosive pistols, and when you get Akimbo, they're like one of the best weapons in the games. And you can also have this with snipers, well, one sniper, and there's a bunch of others. I found a marksman rifle that instead of doing a single fire does double fire every time you fire. I don't think it was a bug, because I tried and it happened all the time, but there's a lot of new things, and it's fun to play. As I said, most of my hours is in this.
It was called The Rook. Last year, before Adler disappeared, he'd been chasing rumors of a dangerous paramilitary group, one receiving orders from inside the CIA. He believed the Pantheon was developing a new type of weapon, with plans to unleash something the world had never seen before. And wouldn't you know it, soon evidence surfaced incriminating Adler himself, and he fled to this place. What we found here over the last couple days has changed everything. Now I'm questioning what I believed about Adler, about Livingston, about the CIA itself. I have my doubts about going dark on Jane. Woods might be right about her value on the inside, but she'll be in the crosshairs if Langley learns what we're up to. Adler brought us here for a reason, to stop the Pantheon before they strike. To do that, Woods believes we'll need him back. That won't be easy. But Adler left a name to follow. It's a good place to start.
Now, for the best part of the game, we're gonna talk about the campaign. It alone is Game of the Year worthy. It is almost worth the price of the game itself. And it's just so good. I will try my best to not go into spoilers, but be warned, if you're planning on picking it up, just buy the game and skip this part. Now, this will kinda be spoilers, but it's kinda not. It's just the characters. There are a bunch of new and returning characters. Some of the returning characters are Adler, Woods, and Park from Cold War. And there's a bunch of new characters like Case, Marshall, Jane, Sivati, or as she's called in the game, Sev, and Felix. All of these characters you will meet or play as in the game. So you will mostly be the character called Case, which is kinda like Bell from Cold War, and it is a lot like Bell, but in some ways it's completely different. But if you have played Cold War, then you will like kinda guess a bit, but you will not be able to guess all of the story because it's just amazing. So first off, the game is a sequel to Cold War, obviously, but it also continues the story of a Black Ops 2 mission where Woods is in Panama, and after Woods going to a wheelchair because he's hurt, and Adler is framed for this incident. And the story will go around this because, according to him, CIA is compromised and you and the whole team have to save the world and like fix CIA. And the main bad guy is, or bad group is the group called Pantheon, which is like, as the game calls it, heavily armed paramilitary force, which is inside the CIA as they claim in the campaign. And over the whole campaign you will slowly try and find stuff about them, and slowly you will find out who is the big bad guy. And I love that part, and the missions in this game, in the story especially, is so good. There are horror missions, there are open world, there's robberies or heists, and tons of puzzles as usual, and it's just so good. So, as always, or not as always, like Cold War, there are a bunch of crazy stuff, and zombies again are like a part of the campaign. I will say they are a much bigger part of the campaign now, where the most of the campaign is based around zombies. And I will not go into the spoilers, but it's really good how they do it. And there are a ton of stealth missions, and like, it isn't forcing you to go stealth like in Modern Warfare and so. It's more like in Cold War, where you kinda go stealth, but if you go loud, the mission will become a loud mission. And there are a bunch of choices, there are kinda open places, I would call them, where you choose between the missions inside the mission. Oh yeah, I want to talk to this guy instead of infiltrating. And there's like a Bill Clinton mission, which is kind of funny to play at, and you have to like choose between what you want, and you use a camera to take pictures or tag guards. And this is all kind of a bit of the tutorial, because you use this camera a lot, because you tag enemies to like see them through walls, and they use like a sensor filter, which is really cool, and all of that. And there's a one puzzle kinda, which straight is like all over the game. And if you've heard of the game Mastermind, it's like a board game where you have to guess the stuff, and you get the position and if it's the right or wrong thing, and you have to like use fingerprints on a place and find out what the code is, and that's a lot of fun. And you can also there's another puzzle. I wouldn't call it like a puzzle because it's like super easy. You have to like just do a mission, and suddenly you will find like, oh, it's a transmission, and you go and you will have to like sync up the waves, and then you will like get a code for a vault. You have to find the vault, you open it, and you get a bunch of money. And this goes into the upgrade features, kind of like a skill tree, which is new for the Call of Duty games. And you like some are like, oh, you can have 2 plates now, and one is like you reload quicker and like you don't think about it, but like one is that one armor is worth more, so you don't have to use a ton of armor to get full armor. And like you can upgrade your equipment, you can do more damage to armor, and it just makes the campaign even better to play. And I feel like Treyarch really wants to make an open world with RPG elements, because one mission is just straight up open world. There's no way to like hide it or anything. It's just straight up open world. There are a bunch of side quests you can do, and I 100%ed that mission. And when you go around, you can get special weapons, you can get special score streak. Suddenly I just got a silenced sniper, which was really powerful and had a lot of range. so it's like really easy to pick off enemies from distance. And I did like a quest when I got to like one of the main places you have to go, and there's like a guy, you talk to him, oh, you now get information about some of the guards, you kill a lot, and then you find out, oh no, he gave me like not all of the information, and suddenly there's a guard right next to the other guard, and you have to like work that out. And I wish they actually had some kind of radar, because one time I was like, I had killed everybody I fought, but it said, oh, you can't go, there are still enemies left, like, and I was standing there running around, I couldn't find them, and apparently I had only completed half of the military site, which was a bit annoying, but except for that, there was like no problems, and it's a really epic mission too, and it's just so good. And one thing that if you played Cold War, you're gonna love this. Safe House is back, but they have changed it a lot. There are ton of puzzles, and I don't know if it's just me, but one of them was really hard, because you had to like do thing, and it pointed at another thing, and I was like, what? Because it didn't make sense, because I apparently skipped a step, which was a bit annoying. And they have reduced the amount of puzzles there are in the campaign, but they increased the quality, because in Cold War they're just really difficult for some reason, and it was like really annoying. But now they are not annoying, they're just fun and just add to the main game, and everything is so good. And there are so many missions to talk about, and I won't spoil them because they're just so good, and some of them are really epic. There's like chase scenes, there's like tons of things. You're up suddenly in a tank, you're going in doing almost airport scene but no civilians, and it's just ton of fun, ton of explosives, ton of like stealthing around, trying to save the civilians and kill the bad guys. And I really love it, and you should just buy the game and play the campaign. Apparently people skip the campaigns in Call of Duty, but this is a must not skip. And one thing that I don't like is the story isn't like finished. It's finished, but like previous games, the story continues in Warzone and the seasons. I don't know if it continues in multiplayer also, but it at least continues in Warzone with the cinematics and like the quests in the season, which isn't all that good, but at least it's something. I know I said this a lot, but this is Game of the Year, and I mean it this time. This is the best game throughout the year. I have not played a game this much this year. I have so many hours, and it's the time of recording, it's been out for 1 week, and it's one of my most played games this year, which alone says a lot. And the campaign and zombies alone put this at like top 4 games of the year, and the multiplayer on top of that just makes everything excellent. If you are like a person that skips some of the Call of Duties, this is not one of them. If you like Call of Duty, you will love this. But as always, there are like some people won't like this. Some old Zombies fans might not like this, but I love this, and my friends which only played the old ones and loved it, they say that this is the best of the Call of Duties they've ever played. And some say, oh yes, this is the best campaign we had in years, it's the best multiplayer we had in years. And like everybody agrees there's something that's are not that good, but everybody agrees at least this is one of the best Call of Duties in a long time, and this will be going on my Game of the Year list for this year. I really hope you like this review, and it's a bit different from what I've been doing throughout this channel, but I will try to do more different things now. And if you have any recommendations or something you want to say about my video, or something you don't like, or something you liked, please leave it in the comments so I can improve my videos and make them even better. And if you have any recommendations for new games that are releasing, or a bit older games that you would like me to review, please leave it in the comments, and I read all of them. And I love reading them, even though there are currently at this point like 1 or 2 comments, but I try also releasing my videos on TikTok so that you can watch them on other platforms. And I also have a Steam creator page where I upload all of my reviews, so you can go follow that one so you can see on store page what I recommend and don't recommend. And have a nice day or evening, and goodbye.
Vehicle inbound.